This could all go horribly wrong at any minute. Hello there, and welcome to the 214th edition of Lewis Black's Rantcast, entitled, He's Not the President, He's the Boss. That's right, and we'll be getting to that later on because, first up, I just want to thank everybody in that extraordinary state of Florida, and it truly is on a number of levels. But I want to thank everyone who came out to see the shows there. It was the first run I was taking again, the first run at touring. I hadn't been out since December, and I'd had to cancel some shows, and I just really want to thank everyone for the welcome they gave me, and for those of you I irritated. Well, I'm in Florida. What am I going to say? And I've never totally been able to please some of the folks down there, and this time was no exception. I have to say it's always rugged going back after I haven't worked in a while. I mean, I kind of work off the cuff as it is. I mean, I kind of, like I was explaining on stage this week, I don't write a whole thing out. I put Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Bear. That's all I need to know, and then I go off on it. I put an order together. I take a few notes. I carry around my pages. And so from time to time, I have to say that, especially the last week, one really good show, one kind of show that was odd, and then one kind of show that was mostly the crowd seemed to like it, and there's some people who were really pissed. And then I get some feedback on X, which I have to stop reading because I read it as if it was two people wrote in, one in particular, and I'm reading it as if it were a New York Times review, but it does kind of. It gets to me, I have to say. When people are upset, I have to say that. I'm there to entertain them. And I just, I failed there. And what drove me nuts is that, in that show in particular, I was kind of, I thought I had the order together. And I have to say that trying to find that order now it's been brutal in a number of ways. I find it, I hit it, and then I kind of got to go through and the next day and get rid of some things and put some other things in, and then because it's a buffet, as I put it, a buffet of stuff that's going on. And do I want to keep this about Biden? There's stuff about the Democrats that I want to say. If I miss it, the people in the room, as they were, somewhat out in one of the shows, upset that I'm not talking enough about the Democrats. The Democrats certainly can be talked about, and I have a number of lines that really work for them. And if I leave them out, they feel as if I've cheated them. I'm not being even-handed. I always try to be even-handed. If I say that it takes three Democrats to tie a shoe, how much more can I possibly add to just how damning that is? That A, hopefully it's funny, but B, just how ineffectual they are. And they proved it again this week. Okay? They proved it again. They have to vote on whether they pass the budget so that the government doesn't come to a grinding halt. Normally, for sure, I'm against the Congress of the United States voting at all. Once they vote for the budget, that's it. You don't have to vote again, right? Once the money is in place, that's it. It goes where it should be going. There shouldn't be an argument. The president should not have a discretion over those funds, okay? Whatever president it is, all right? I don't give a shit. We elected the people to go there, to put a budget together, whether the budget works or doesn't work, and yada, yada, and who fucked who, and how come there's such a deficit. Fuck that. Okay? You voted for the funding before. You voted for it already. So just fucking, it passes. You don't get to decide. We decide whether the government is shut down, not the Congress, not the folks we're paying to do the job. And if it is shut down, you go in there and sit there so that you earn a salary. Because the thing that is totally irritating about this is if there is a fucking government shutdown at any point, they get paid. Why? Why should they get paid? And those who actually did the real work in government when there was certain departments that were functioning, that those people don't get paid. And the Democrats, they couldn't get a message across about how they were going to vote. The House did. The House said we're voting to shut the government down. We're not going to vote for this budget, and we're all going to be solid on that. And and then they sent it on to the Senate with the intention that the Senate would do the same. And then Chuck Schumer had already agreed to this, apparently, which is one of the reasons I have a little trouble with Chuck, the Chuckster. He goes, well, we really shouldn't because, if we do this, it'll allow Donald Trump. What are you fucking, okay? If you don't want to shut it down, don't shut it down. You should have told the other Democrats this. You can't have, at this point in time, you basically, the only thing standing between us and them and Musk and the boss, driving a truck through the federal government are you Democrats. And what a pathetic lot to not come up with a message, a unified message as to what and why and how you were going to do this. Son of a bitch, you've had the time. Okay? You knew it was coming. There should have been meetings and meetings and meetings way before he was inaugurated. What is the matter with you? It's appalling. It is pathetic. And it does take three of you to tie a shoe. And probably one, and then you probably hire a consultant. That would be the Republican head to the joke, or two consultants, or somebody from the USAID. I don't care. And the fact that I've already talked about it. The fact that you stop the USAID is, they basically gut that when it's one of the great things that we do as a country. God. So now we just look like meanies. It's really something. But you kind of want to, we need someone who's going to help. And you're not, Democrats. You're not. All right? And if it is, as I read today, they might have to do with age, well, then fuck it. Then you kids take it over. And it's not even kids. Those of you in your 40s, right? Those of you even in your 50s, come on. But those of you, the driving force, the 30, 35-year-olds, come on. Figure out a way in which to get what it is that you want communicated to us and help day after day after day after day of one thing or another that is being done. And you are doing nothing except lip service. And it's just, and then Mr. Schumer, when the boss thanks you, not a good sign. All right? Not a good sign at all. And it makes those out there who are getting the message from the Republicans look pretty good. They can shine the buttons on their suits and go, look at my flag pin glistening. Idiots. Fucking Chuck, idiot. Unbelievable. Or if you're going to do that, take them aside. I can't even go back. So that, you just get it straight. Do one thing or another and explain to us why you did it that way. All right? Because the message comes over pretty clearly from the Republicans. Here's what we want. Here's what we're going to do. And fuck you. Fuck you, Democrats. And the Democrats have got to come up with something, anything. Just as long as you have some sort of unity. But good luck with that. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, they, just the new thing is they're scrubbing out, Peter Hedgehog is, and I don't even know if I did this before I left. I don't think so. I don't think it had come out yet. And if it had, it bears repeating. So Peter Hedgehog was scrubbing out in the Pentagon archives photos and names and I guess any writing about DEI and especially about certain things about blacks, pictures of blacks, pictures of women, but most importantly, they wanted the word gay out. And so they took out the picture of and whether they've gone ahead and done this is still in question, but it was set to be erased. Erased was a picture of the Enola Gay. And I talked about this in my act, and which I did not think was that political. I mean, it was just what I've talked about in terms of it's just so profoundly stupid, that they're going to, because the word gay, the Enola Gay, you're going to cut this. You're not even going to look it up. And that you didn't even know. You just kind of went, get rid of it. Didn't even look. There's nobody sitting there looking. See, because that's partly what government people did. They would look and sit there day after day after day, looking at stuff, okay? Stuff that needed to be reviewed, stuff that needed to be gone over, pictures that needed to be, figure out if you're going to keep them or not keep them. I remember once I worked for the government and I moved all the things. They said, clean this closet out. And so I did. And they said, we're going to move all the stuff, clean it out, and put it in the closet over there, the stuff that we're going to keep. And I went through everything and figured out what it was and then took it to the person. And said, nah, we need to keep that. Nah, we need to keep that. Nah, we need to keep that. So good, fine. They kept it. But we looked at the stuff and it all ended up in the other closet. Useless? No, because they needed to review it and go through it and see what needed to be kept. And it all needed to be kept as far as they were concerned. And it gave me a job. And I was one of the people who had to look at the stuff. And I learned a bit of something from it. Okay? But the Enola Gay? Seriously? Doesn't even, somebody had to look. The Enola Gay, for those of you who don't know, is the plane that in which was carried the bomb that bombed Hiroshima. Okay? Enola Gay was the mother of the pilot, hence the name for the plane. And but it had the word gay in it. Gay. And by cutting that out, all gays will disappear and we will all be happy again. No, it's ludicrous. Stop it. Stop it with the gay thing. Okay? All right? Enough is enough. There is no need for this. None at all. We're over that hump. Okay? They can get married. They can actually raise children. So stop it. Stop just trying to erase them from the history that they literally have given us and will continue to give us. And stop it. Taking pictures of blacks out or of the, I wonder if did they get rid of pictures of the Tuskegee Airmen, the women who worked, and then another one for the books. Peter Hedgehog went to court to try to throw the trans, the trans in the military, that they're not good at fighting, and brought in a study or two that nobody had read because it said they were excellent and that you really would want to keep them. And that's what the study said. Maybe nobody reads in this administration, as far as I can tell. Maybe. And because the ones working for Doge, which I still don't have a good joke for, the ones working for Doge, It's all about statistics, analytics. They've got to, it's tech. The good news about being away in Florida was that I was able to avoid, because I was sitting there staring at my notes for hours to no avail. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. And I tried to explain that at the beginning of the act. There is so much stuff in the inbox. I've changed the act 4 times, and I can't keep up with all of this because it comes across on a daily basis, and I'm bombarded by it. And some of it is so astonishing. I don't even think a joke is necessary, but apparently some folks think there needs to be a joke attached. Well, they were not only trying to kind of rewrite history at the Pentagon and really, and in a way, trying to get rid of, which I didn't mention, every kind of a reference to DEI, which has become very important because it's been so destructive to us as the American people, because everyone was thinking about it. And that was the reason that there was that was the reason the price of eggs was too high. But so it's not only that, but the following, and I will read to you. The deletions began shortly after Donald Trump took office. The Center for Disease Control, its web pages on vaccines, HIV prevention, and reproductive health went missing. Findings on bird flu transmission vanished minutes after they appeared. The Census Bureau's public repository went offline, then returned without certain directories of geographic information. The Department of Justice expunged the January 6th insurrection from its website. And the whitehouse.gov took down the explainer page about the Constitution, which just gets freaky. I'm supposed to find that acceptable? Huh? Acceptable, acceptable. Huh? Why would you cut it out? What could possibly be your reason? Huh? Financial? There's a real reason behind that. And it's one that makes my, paranoia inflamed. And on February 7th, Trump sacked the head of the National Archives and Records Administration, the agency that maintains the official text of the nation's law. Are you listening? Anybody whose motto is the written word endures. It's unacceptable. Huh? I was a kid, even knew about the National Archives. He went down to the National Archives. I think it's where I saw either the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. It's unbelievable. You fired the head of him. You sacked the head of him. More than 110,000 government pages have gone dark in a purge that one scientist likened to a digital book burning, and which is proved as frightening in its imprecision as in its malice. God. I can't stop reading. Racing to comply with executive orders banning DEI and gender ideology extremism, agencies have cut materials on everything from supporting transgender youth in school to teaching children about sickle cell anemia, okay, which disproportionately affects people of African descent. God, I'm sorry to have read all that, but it's important. I stumble on this stuff. Okay, I don't see it anywhere. I'm like, it's constant barrage of these things that they're being done that you can't. And it makes my act between trying to figure out what I should talk about and where the jokes are, and just kind of getting the information out there. But let's get off this, and I'm going to wrap this up because before I need to be wrapped up. This is just amazing. This is a quickie. The GOP leaders told congressional Republicans to stop holding in-person town halls. House Speaker Mike Johnson claimed without evidence that, and this is the other thing, there's a ton of shit that's being claimed without evidence. The Democrats do it too, that the people who have recently filled town halls across the country and angrily spoken out against cuts to government are professional protesters. So it's wise not to play into that. Yeah, that's how many. They've got a whole group of them, and they get paid real money. They were former professional football players. God, if I knew that you could get money if that they paid you to be a professional protester, why would I have done the rest of this? I wouldn't have even needed a college degree. Just give me some notes and I'll get up there and go, hey, fucker. Who knew? Another great one, researchers found that rodents will try to resuscitate unconscious peers with grooming, biting, and tongue pulling. These behaviors are reminiscent of how humans are taught to clear the airway of an unconscious individual during CPR. Once again, so maybe we're not closer to the monkeys. Yet maybe we evolved from rats, which I'm beginning to think, wow, maybe closer to the truth. You know, I can't believe I just said that. And finally, just in terms of an eighth division German soccer match, 8th division, wow, was postponed because the young son of a player bit the referee's left testicle during the pre-match warm-ups. I did not start the game because of the pain I was in and the situation, explained referee Stefan Kahler, Kahler, Kahler. Wow, that kid saw the ref. That God knows what possessed that kid to bite his testicle. But isn't that a great metaphor for what's happening now, boy? I think all of our vital parts are being bitten on a daily basis throughout the world, throughout the planet. I do hope you enjoy the Rantcast this week because we've got some great new ones, and I think they're like I think everyone that I read and all of the ones that are sent in is special and important, and I couldn't be happier to be the one who's able to read them. It's a privilege and a pleasure, and I want to thank you. And I hope you're all doing well, and I'll be back on the road this weekend, and I'll be in Canada. And more on that when I see you next week. And before I go, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I'm really sorry I couldn't do the show at the Villages. I got whacked literally in the afternoon just before I was going to go on, and it might not have been the best of shows, and so I really appreciate you understanding. And my tour manager was telling me that all of you were completely understanding, and I appreciate that. I know how tough it is. I hate canceling, and I've had to do it a few more times more than I've wanted to over the past few years, and it's another reason I'm kind of saying that I'm going to have to take it easy because I'm tired of disappointing people and myself. It's hard to look forward to something, as we all know, and then it just gets fucked. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the folks who came out and your support, and it means so much to me, and especially the energy you brought to the room, because I'd been off literally for 3 months, and coming back is never really easy. You're trying to get your rhythm back. You get it rolling the way you want, and you folks certainly, as you always have been amazingly supportive and given me the room to find myself up there. Thank you. And And it'll make, just so you know, it'll make a huge difference down the road as I continue to tune this. So it really meant a lot. And I'm sorry if I fell into some cul-de-sacs or a few ditches along the way. But that's going to happen when I haven't had the time. And when there's just an insane amount at the "Are you kidding me" buffet. So, thank you. And a very special thank you to Sahib Singh and Emily Catalano. They were my opening acts. Sahib handled one of the weeks in Florida, Emily the other, and I really appreciate them coming in on short notice and doing a terrific job. And it was a pleasure getting to spend time with them. And they're two comics to watch. Thank you again, and again and again and again. I can't say it enough. It's appreciated. From Mark Burness. Dear Lewis, if you're reading this on an airplane, you might want to keep your barf bag or flight bag nearby. There's a good chance you'll need it. I was at the grocery store yesterday. It's not your garden variety Bonds Kroger type. It's one of those hoity-toity uptown fucking hipster places. It is close and convenient for me, and I only needed a few things. In the liquor department, they are selling, I shit you not, marshmallow-flavored vodka. Marshmallow fucking vodka! They're also selling peanut butter-flavored beer and maple-flavored whiskey. Gets worse. They have a humidor where they sell acid cigars, probably because you'd have to be on acid to smoke one. These little gems are infused with all natural herbs, oils, and essences. They are, in fact, Vicks Vapo Rub flavored cigars. What the actual fuck have we become? Hey, hipsters, I've got a novel idea. How about beer-flavored beer, whiskey-flavored whiskey, and tobacco-flavored cigars? On a separate yet equally disturbing topic, for these assholes that get on a freeway at 35 to 40 miles per hour and or hold up traffic by driving under the speed limit in the left lane, there should be carve-outs to the Eighth Amendment. That's the one about cruel and unusual punishment. These fuckers should have a red-hot poker shoved up their ass while they're being waterboarded with marshmallow fucking vodka. As it turns out, there is a singular useful purpose for marshmallow vodka. Thanks for letting me vent. I feel so much better. I think I'll celebrate with a shot of ketchup-flavored tequila. Something Trump should be hawking. Mark, thanks for that. And I'd heard of none of those. It is, but it's disturbing what's happening. It's just, it's got, what can you say? It may have started with the dirty martini. And so people started deciding, we could, instead of just having the olive juice there, we'll soak it in the olives. I once had and I have to say it was pretty good, a tomato flavored vodka. It wasn't made here, and it was way, way back before people were doing it. So maybe they hadn't decided to fuck it up yet. But maybe it's ketchup flavored now, as you suggest, at least with the tequila. Thank you, Mark. From Kyle Dodd, and I want to thank you, Kyle, for reminding me of what I used to scream about early on in my career, as things were taking off. It gave me great joy to stand on stage and yell about the spigot in my backyard. But let's get on with it. This is your time. Lewis, I've had it with trying to figure out which bottled water to buy. They all taste like shit mixed with donkey spunk, and I'd much rather drink out of the taps in Flint, Michigan. At least there, I know what I'm getting out of the water. Do you have a preference? I've tried smart water. Ironically, this tastes like autism. Fiji, yes, drinking water filtered from an island the locals likely defecate in the source of the water. Dasani, tap water with arsenic. Pure Life, Agent Orange inspired, and any of the generic brands, janitor piss. I feel I'd be better off pissing in a bottle with holes and licking the excrement off of the ground. Thanks for the input. I'm sure you have nothing at all to say about this. Actually, I do. I've discovered a water a friend of mine likes a lot, and it's the only one that I really I drink. I drink the one on stage, and now, of course, I can't remember the name of it. Idiot, but Aquapana, but it's comes in a plastic bottle, so that doesn't help. But it's tasty, and I can't believe I can't think of the name of this water. God damn it! I'll get back to you, Kyle. I'll get back to you with the name of it. It comes in a metal can. Rosemary Sterns is sharing this with us, and I'm sure it will get a bit of a reaction, Rosemary, so get ready for it. But thank you for sending this in. Here's what I'm most mad about today. In 2023, Fort Bragg became Fort Liberty. Why? Because Bragg was a Confederate general, and we just can't celebrate or honor anybody on that side of the Civil War. Anybody from the South ought to be ashamed, right? No, not right. Well, in today's society, we Southerners certainly don't approve of slavery. However, we don't feel it necessary to change history just to avoid upsetting the rest of the country. And really, who fucking cares what the military base is named? Name them after all the Disney characters. Wouldn't that be fun? Who could be offended by that? Nobody. Huh? I will tell you what I'm offended by, Lewis. The current administration spews vitriol about wasteful spending and created Doge, which every time I hear it spoken makes me shudder and shake and want to punch somebody in the face. A particular somebody whose name I shall not mention, but he's an orange motherfucker. So stopping wasteful spending would be a good thing if that was, in fact, their agenda. But it is obvious that it's total bullshit. And let me tell you why this is a fact. Back to Fort Bragg. In 2023, when some idiot changed the name to Fort Liberty, do you have any idea how much that cost us taxpayers? I didn't think about it. $6.3 million. What the ever-loving fuck, Lewis? Why? Am I the only one who sees this? I'm sure as hell don't hear anybody talking about the hypocrisy of this on the news. No, we have to pay for all the signs and stationery and every fucking thing to be changed. I'm so mad I could spit nails. Instead, I'm going to the break room where for $25 I can smash things with a sledgehammer for an hour. That ought to help me cope for a little while. And since we're talking about waste and hypocrisy, how much is it going to cost to change all the maps and who knows what else to the Gulf of fucking America? Oh my God, Lewis, I'm beginning to think I am in some kind of Alice in Wonderland story where everyone has gone mad. I think you should talk about this on The Daily Show because evidently I'm the only one who sees this particular part of the bullshit going on in the country right now. Thanks for letting me vent. Sorry for swearing so much, but I knew you'd understand, and I certainly do, Rosemary. I'm sure you'll be hearing about the Fort Bragg change. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the name should be kept there so that they go, hey, they called it this because, and even though we think we should change it, you should know he was a dick. I don't think we need to, we go so far, we kind of, it's just like, how many times you want to run over the body, huh? And I'm not exactly sure what I mean by that, but I feel good about the way it sounded. Rosemary, I'm interested to see what the reaction is, but the thing about the money is really, really something. And they're changing it back to Fort Bragg again, I think. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. Let me know if you know, Rosemary, and or anyone else out there. And thank you for that. This comes to us from Doug Hess. It's not something anyone has spoken about before that I can remember, Doug, and I thank you for this. I don't know if you've spoken about this before, but every once in a while I get a hankering for some popcorn. Now, I don't need my wife yelling at me for dirtying up a bowl or the health nuts telling me I'm killing my fat ass even faster by eating the good stuff cooked in oil, slathered in butter and salt. Besides, I need to keep my chemical intake at a certain level, so I drink diet soda with aspartame and eat that wonderful chemical-laced crap called microwave popcorn from Orville Redenbacher, complete with the PFOA Teflon coating on the inside of the bag and the fake butter flavor. Oh boy, I still see that in certain motels and places we stop along the way during the tour. Well, anyway, my main complaint in 1975, the radar range came on the scene as an affordable home microwave. 6 years later, in 1981, they debuted microwave popcorn. So here we are, over 4 decades later. Microwaves all come with the convenience of a popcorn button. Meanwhile, the first instruction on the bag to pop the corn is do not use the popcorn button. I don't want to stand there and listen and try and open the door before it goes from not popped to perfect to burnt in 2 seconds. And you're telling me this many years later, the microwave folks and the popcorn folks haven't had a clandestine meeting somewhere and agreed to hire some engineering firm to make it so the goddamn popcorn button isn't wasting space on the panel of my microwave? Well, Doug, started out as a health issue and became a microwave issue. Well, I hope you're enjoying that popcorn, and thank you for sharing that with us. We so rarely hear about the Redenbacher microwave popcorn and all the ways that it could possibly kill you. So enjoy, and you do it even when you're not watching a movie. Good for you, Doug. Chris Brinkley is angry, and I think you can understand why. Out on a job hunt. Oh boy. But you don't have to worry. There so many immigrants are being taken out now, Chris, that I'm sure that there'll be all sorts of jobs you won't want. And I won't blame you. For the past couple of years, I've been job searching for something that my useless degree will get me. So far, I've only gotten a minimum wage job that is barely covering my student loans. Throughout my search, I've ran into so many job application sites that require you to upload a resume, only to then tell you that you have to re-enter all the information again by hand. Why? I can understand some supplemental questions like, why do you want to work here? I need money, apparently isn't a good enough reason, but my resume has everything you need to know if I'm a good candidate. Filling out that again is just wasting more of my time that I could use to continue job searching. Instead, I have to spend another 10 minutes making sure all the information is correct for every single job. What's even worse are those job boards that force you to make an account to even apply for the job. Fuck Workday. The fact that I have to make a new account to just send in a job application that will probably be rejected anyway is infuriating and exhausting. Thanks for listening, Lewis. And please wish me hope in trying to find a job. It's tough in the job market right now, and I just want to live a happy life, as do we all, Chris. And we deserve it. Doesn't take much, really, for things to get on course, but not here. We're going to fight over it. We're going to fight over it and fight over it. And I'm sorry you're caught in the middle of this. That's ridiculous. What the fuck did we invent this computer for? Huh? That we don't use it. There should be one application that should be sent to all the sites, and they might have one special thing that they want you to answer. This is madness. Your resume should be in a stockpile everywhere throughout it's just, we're fucking idiots. Then someone will come up with something and they'll make $1 gazillion. Everybody going, wow, how come they never thought of that before? I hope it's you, Chris. I hope while you're looking, you figure it out. All the best. It's not easy. From Jeffrey Shivley. He is enraged for really a solid reason. I have not ever heard of anything like this. I've seen it on well, let's get on with it. It's just, God, Jeffrey, I really am glad you shared this, and I can understand why you did. Today, I stepped in a huge pile of dog shit in my apartment's lobby. One might ask, how did this happen? How does one just step in shit? Well, let me tell you, I know exactly how. A dog shits somewhere one doesn't expect shit to be. Not looking for said shit, one does not normally watch out for piles of shit just laying around. Someone may ask, did you clean it up? Hell no, you asshole. It wasn't my dog. What if someone else steps in it? Well, then they will know what I'm going through right now. Could you avoid this shit? Listen, I walked into my nice building. It's over 100 years old and a Nashville historical landmark. Nice marble, pretty carpets. The last thing I thought was, hey, maybe I should watch out for dog shit. After stepping in the dog shit, I then went outside, where it has snowed and frozen over. I slipped, but caught myself and didn't fall. However, my feet skidded, and now the front sidewalk is now covered in dog shit. Standing here right now, I'm laughing out loud as I write this, but boy, oh boy, I wasn't laughing then. Watch out, everyone, for the dog shit. I need a drink. Oh, I bet you do, Jeffrey. Dog shit in the lobby. I wonder what apartment it was. I passed it, no doubt, having spent a lot of time in Nashville. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure there'll be others writing in about the dog shit they've stepped in. But in an apartment's lobby, wow. From Michael Contronio, what I always enjoy, someone responding to a rant that came in. So thank you very much, Michael. Bidets, a rebuttal. Dear Mr. Black, I, for one, have never gotten the bidet. I consider it the roundabout of the toilet world. Why pull out in front of oncoming traffic when you could just leisurely accelerate from a complete safe stop? Bidets are better left in Europe with the roundabout. Additionally, they add intricate crevices that require detail cleaning. And no, you cannot use your toilet bowl brush. They do not fit. So that leaves us with the toothbrush. Now, I don't know about you, but this just leaves an element that makes me want to cringe. What are the odds that toothbrush could be accidentally reused for that which it was intended? Just makes me shudder at the thought. Now, the actual usage. When I was a young lad, my mom bought the double ply. Although soft and luxurious, tough it was not. The small finger of a child could easily poke through, and it did. This left me with a lifelong aversion to poo, and I soon learned to double and triple down on usage to protect from accidental exposure, which led to another consequence. Toilet clogs. In fact, I developed quite the reputation as a child. Fast forward to adolescence, to my agitation, my mom switched to the single-ply sandpaper brand. Now I found myself quadrupling each usage to avoid loss of barrier. I must say, however, this brand was much more flushable, and the clogs ceased. Later in life, I even appreciated this brand for its economics and longevity per roll. To the modern day, I purchased a home in which the former owner had a fecal fixation. Not only did it come with a bidet, it has a composting toilet, custom installed down below. I will repeat that because I've never seen it in print. I never even knew they had one. It has a composting toilet, custom installed down below, as if he recognized my immediate revulsion of the bidet when showing me the place. He threw in that he had kept the former ring and lid if I ever wanted to replace the bidet. I did, but it wasn't a deal breaker. Inefficiency. When using a bidet, I find them not hot enough to cut through the grease. So that leaves a feeling of uncleanliness. Not only that, but the bidet leaves you with wet ass. Redundance is something that eats me to the core. Why, after using the bidet, should you have to wipe? Just wipe, for gosh sakes. Thank you for allowing me this most cathartic rant, and yours truly, Michael Contronio. And thank you, Michael, for sharing something that normally people shy away from. I was sick in November. I had a stomach bug. And the one thing I discovered during this is doctors don't really want to talk about diarrhea. Nope, you think that would be the simple thing. They don't seem to mind staring in the face of death and all sorts of other things, but diarrhea really seems to unnerve them. So thank you, Michael, for sharing. And I'm interested to hear if our friend who wrote the initial bidet defense defends again. Wow. It's just too much. That's what I got today. Thank you. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.